Hi YouTube, welcome to the Emporium Outdoors. My name is Michael and somewhere down here is Esme, my dog. So we are out for an overnight adventure in the Argo. This is the first time I've been out in quite a few weeks now, which is unusual. But the summer's been pretty bad, so we've decided to do other things and work and such. So we're both very excited to be out. It's also grouse season, so we do have a tool with us to actually gather some grouse if we get the opportunity. I've actually just seen one as we went by, but I wasn't quite quick enough. So hopefully we'll get some grouse for dinner, but there's no promises. And for those that have watched the channel for some time, you may know that I'm a vegetarian apart from any of the meat that I actually harvest myself. And it's been quite some time. This is my like 3 years I think I've been like this, and it's been a pretty lean couple of hunting seasons, so it would be so nice to have a grouse, and we can share with Esme because she likes that. So we're going to head out to one of our remote camping spots. The weather's pretty wet, but the temperature has dropped, so the bugs aren't bad at all so far. So we're looking for a very good night. I've stopped at this small group of trees behind me because this is where I always gather my birch bark. It's somewhere I pass typically, and I've been harvesting from the same place for many years now. And that's one of the great things about nature. If you know where to harvest from, she'll always provide. So let's get on and grab some of that birch, and then we can be on our way. Just enough for our needs, and we'll leave the rest for someone else, or if we pass again this way. So what we're looking at here is a swamp crossing, which I wouldn't even attempt in a regular machine. We're going to give it a go with the Argo, and I think we'll be okay. It's pretty wet down there, so let's see how we go. I think we're going to be fine. I know it's not super deep, it's just super wet and soft. So like I say, normal machine, I'll be turning around right now. But with the Argo, give it a go. There we go, that's the beauty of these machines. They can just float over things like that. I tried to get some of the video of the wheels kind of floating over the top. There is some spin, but it doesn't break through. And that's what you need, is high flotation, and you can more or less go anywhere you want. So that's why I bought an Argo, for times just like that. It is just gorgeous today. This is why I love this time of year so much. There's no mosquitoes. There's still plenty of green around, and it's just so pleasant. This is a really nice spot. There's a hill that goes up this side, there's a small stream at the bottom. But it's very difficult to get in at this time of year with a regular ATV. You wouldn't make it in. You'd need an Argo or you're walking in. And if you walked in, you'd have to have some pretty long boots. So I feel very lucky to actually see this area at this time of year. It's much easier to get in during the winter time when stuff frosts up. But right now, it's amazing. Come take a look. Pussy. Good girl. So not too far that one. What? Good girl. Good girl. So when I was out here a couple of months ago, I did cut this tree, which fell that way, and I used half of it and stashed the rest. But I do see that it's actually fallen down, so I'm going to grab that anyway, and that'll save me the effort of cutting any more trees. all done, so that's actually quite a bit of wood. I'll probably stack some of the stuff we just brought in because it's probably a little bit wetter. Split it, stack it, and hopefully when we come back here for winter camping we'll have a bit of starter wood. So that's my plan. Even though I don't actually eat meat, Esme does. And this is our little camping treat. Now it's much more appetizing. So it took about 10 minutes to get all that set up. So I had to fuss with the tarp a little bit, because you do. Got my little bag. This is actually the stuff sack that the hammock comes in. This is the Warbonnet Eldorado with the Wookie 0 degree underquilt and the Superfly tarp. Amazing setup. It's one of my favourite hammock systems. I'm really looking forward to using that in the winter. And I think I should be good down to about -10, maybe a little bit lower. I know 0 degrees I think is -16, but you get to the limit, I think. I always leave a margin. So tonight what I have as a top cover is actually the Helicon Tech Swagman roll in Flecktarn, which took me a while to find. I haven't slept with this before. I think this is good down to like 10 degrees. Nope, I think I read somewhere it's like 10 degrees. So it's actually a multi-function. You can use it as an underquilt, Actually on the front of the bag here actually says what it is, so you can use it as like a cape, you can use it as a sleeping bag, summer sleeping bag, inner sleeping bag for winter, universal blanket, or hammock underquilt. But tonight I'm just going to be using it as a kind of a blanket. So the pocket that it all comes in zips up. You have the hood, so you can actually zipped up at the moment, and zip it somewhere. This end? No, it's probably the other end. And I will do a separate video on this because it is kind of an interesting product, but I can't really tell you much about it until I've used it. So there we go. So that's kind of the poncho kind of setup, and it wraps around, and there's some buckles and you can use it that way. Feels nice. It's meant to be waterproof, but I'm looking forward to using it in winter. I think this is going to be a great universal type of cover for winter, whereas if I do get cold I can just put this over the top of my winter gear, and you know, if it gets kind of a little bit cold in the sleeping bag, it's an extra piece, but it also doubles as a pillow. So, and it's my favourite pattern too, so I was very pleased to get that. So, quite a gracious exit. So that's what we're going to be using for our bed tonight. I do have Esme's blanket if it does get cold. I always like to have at least something else, whether it's like a big jacket or something. There's nothing worse than sleeping cold. It's brutal. The nights go on forever and you just shiver. The underquilt works really well. I've used this quite a few times now. It just radiates heat. But we'll see later on. We also have this thing. I'll put a little label to what this is. But it's a clip that's sold by Warbonnet, and you can put your cell phone in the clip. So when you're lying in the hammock, you can watch a podcast or watch a movie or whichever you want. I just find it's a great place to keep the phone. I don't really watch movies, but I do listen to music and podcasts, so it's nice to be able to tap the screen and skip any adverts or anything, so keeps it safe and out of the way. So I think we're all set. So now we've got the backpack suspended so it's nice and easy to access. Let's talk a little bit about this backpack. So I've had it for a couple of months now, and I've been using it as my main bag to take out, and I'm very happy with it. This is the 30 litre or the Jackery medium, and what I've done is actually added 3 of these large pouches from Savota. This is all bought from vostaleka.com, and it's exceptional quality. It's very comfortable, and the size is exactly what I wanted. I've been going smaller, larger. I could never find the pack size that I wanted, but this is where it's at. I'm very, very happy with this particular setup now. The configuration, for those that know their packs, will recognize the 3 pouches on the outside, and it's very reminiscent of the Alice pack. I guess some designs can never be bad. It works perfectly. It allows you to slide long implements down to the pockets behind them. I have my saw on this side, my axe on the other side, and I've got quick access stuff, my cooking gear, my sundry items are in there, hats, gloves, things like that, and my water's in here as well. And I've got enough room to put quite a lot of gear inside. So you saw I got my whole camping, my hammock set up, extra water, everything. There is this zip on the side too, which I haven't actually used, but I like the idea of it. I'm glad it's there. As yet, I haven't really come to use it. So, for instance, it's very handy that way. You are compromising on the weight, so you're not going to get lots of long distance backpackers or ultralight people who would prefer this backpack. You can use it for backpacking, but it's going to be heavier, so you're going to give away at least a pound or maybe £1.50 to a lightweight backpack. So what you do gain by that 1.5 pounds is durability. This is military grade equipment, or as close as you can come to it. It's well built, it uses ITW buckles, there's lots of MOLLE everywhere. You can strap to the bottom if you wish, you can strap to the top, the lid will expand even further. You could probably, if you loaded this thing up, I would say you get close to another 10 litres by just bulking up and strapping things to the outside. It's not the way I like to travel. I like to keep everything contained within. I don't like things jingling around on the outside. So for me, very, very happy. This will last me a very long time, I'm quite sure, if I look after it, or if I don't. So the limitation of this pack is really the harness. It is a very simplistic harness, so even though you could really load this up and it's not going to break the pack, it might break you. It's not really designed for heavy loads. You'd have to step up to a better frame that would carry the weight. But for the average bushcrafter or medium to lightweight backpacker, this would serve you very, very well. Excellent piece of equipment, highly recommend it. So the fire's all set, the camp's all together. Just time to hang out, I think, listen to some podcasts and just enjoy the surroundings. This is one of my favourite spots. It's beautiful, really is. I've just been sitting on the slope there watching the kind of sun slowly drift downwards towards the evening, and it really does bring things into focus. I think being cooped up for the last 6 weeks has been to my detriment. I really do need to get out and do this thing with Esme and I. It's a shame I couldn't bring Simon with me, but I really don't want Simon to be around guns, unfortunately, because he was shot in the leg. If you follow my channel, I've kind of explained that whole thing. He's a rescue dog, and somewhere along the line before we owned him, he was a stray, and I think someone shot him with a 22. So he's very skittish around noises. You drop anything in the home and he's not to be seen. So I didn't want to put him through that stress, but he was very upset about being left behind, unfortunately. I will take him out again, but today was really about Esme and I, and just enjoying doing a bit of hunting. So the fires do start quite easy. I had one regular commenter from Vancouver Island who did say he was kind of envious of how easy fires start here, because the Vancouver Island obviously is very wet, and the wood here typically is quite dry. Even when it's been raining, you can find dry wood if you know where to look. So yeah, starting a fire is pretty easy. This whole wood here that you probably can't see, I'll split that up either today or tomorrow and then stack it away, and hopefully it will dry out, and then when we come back to this spot at some point during the winter, then we'll have dry wood, at least for maybe one night. Depends how much we use tonight, but yeah. Well, we had an exceptional night last night, and we just had breakfast. Still trying out the Sportneer chair, and actually it's pretty good. It's like $30 or $40 if you're Canadian. Can't go far wrong with this chair. Seems pretty solid so far. So we're going to get packed up pretty soon. We're meeting some friends that are coming out riding. It's Saturday. We came out actually obviously yesterday, Friday, and we're hoping to get some grouse. So it was a cooler night, as I said, back from the hammock, but it wasn't too bad. Like I said before, sleeping cold is the worst thing you can do. Always, if you're going to go light and you think, I'm on the edge of my sleeping bag or whatever, always bring something else, like a big jacket or something you can put on, because sleeping cold is not fun. So we're right on that kind of edge. We slept well, but I could tell it was starting to get cold. So just a little tip from my experience of camping for many years: don't sleep cold. Go heavy if you have to. You ready to get packed up, Esme? Good girl. So we're all packed up, ready to go. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And until next time, see you next time. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.